Hello and welcome to Peak Performance Selling, the only sales clinic in the Middle East. I'm Dr. Anand Menon, your host and sales doctor on this channel. Now, as you go through this channel, if you like some of the videos that you see here, I would encourage you to hit the like button and share it with your friends on your social media platforms. You see, I'm a firm believer that those who know have the moral responsibility to share with those who don't. So let's become ambassadors of knowledge and share what we learn with our friends. And I want to thank you in advance for doing that. On this video, I want to talk about how a client makes the buying decision. You see, a client makes up to 5 different kinds of buying decisions within a single buying decision. So I'm going to say that again. A client makes 5 different buying decisions within a single buying decision, and they're always made in the same sequence. If you will understand how the client makes the buying decision, 1, it makes you more effective. It makes the process of selling more pleasant. The client is better convinced. Chances are he puts a lot more money on the table and buys more. He becomes an ambassador for you and generates referrals for you in the future. So what are the 5 buying decisions that every client makes within each buying decision? You see, the first thing a client buys from you, he may have walked into your showroom or your sales center for the car, or for the apartment, for the luxury yacht, for just a watch, whatever it may be. The first thing that the client will always buy is you. It's the salesperson. Sales Survey in 2009 conducted research and found out that 54% of the buying decision is influenced by the salesperson's approach. Nothing to do with the product or its capability. Product capability is only 19% according to the survey, but 54%, more than half the reason, is you, the salesperson's approach. Now, what does that mean? That means you have to sell first yourself. That happens in the rapport stage, which is why when you go through sales training, rapport is always taught at the beginning. If you can't build rapport, if you can't build the connection, the relationship, if you can't grow the trust, there is no way clients are going to tell you what their real problems are and what sort of help they need, or what are they looking at buying and how much they're willing to pay for that. They would give you answers, but the answers would be questionable ones. So the rapport or the comfort comes when they buy you first. So the first thing that people buy is you. If people end up at the end saying, I'm not convinced, maybe they were just not convinced about you. Now the second buying decision, and this is really, really important. After training so many salespeople, I have found this area as one of the weakest in the sales approach. It is the credibility of the company or the brand. The company or the brand has credibility. What I'm talking about is the weak part of the sales process is the salesperson not fully establishing the credibility of the company or the brand. You see, if I don't get my client comfortable about the company or the brand, at the back of my mind, as a prospect, at the back of my mind, I have doubts about who you are. I'm not convinced that you will deliver the quality you're promising, or I'm not convinced about the way you're going to handle me post the purchase, because I've heard stories in the market. I have my own perception, right or wrong, of the company. And all of that is in my mind, and it is hurting me and not allowing me to really listen to you or even believe what you're telling me. So it becomes really important to establish the credibility of the brand or the company up front. Once the client is comfortable with you, the next area that you have to convince him, the second buy, is the company. He needs to buy into the company or the brand. This becomes even more important when the brand is new or a company is relatively new, moving into a new geography or a territory, coming in with a new type of product never seen before. In all these cases, the credibility of the brand must be established. And so it's actually very simple to do that. And let me tell you how to do it. It's just one simple question. Once the rapport has been established, all you need to do is ask the client a simple question. Mr. Prospect, how familiar are you with X brand? How familiar are you with? You shouldn't be asking the questions like, have you heard about? You see, that's a closed question. Have you heard about X? They will tell you yes or no, which means you're going to have to ask a second question. So what you should do is become effective even in your questioning techniques. You should ask a good open question. How familiar, or what do you know about X, about our company? Now their answer is going to tell you whether they know something or not. In fact, when they give you, if they do give you an answer, there could be statements of value in their answer about you, which you could use later on when you are making your presentation. You could always go back to that. It's called a hook or a link. And you could say, Mr. Prospect, you remember you said this to me about X? You can bring that into your presentation. Now, in case the client tells you, well, to be honest, I'm not too sure about your company, or I don't know much about your company, at that point, you have to establish credibility. So the best way to do it will be, let me take a minute to quickly tell you about who we are. That's it. So the process is very simple. Mr. Prospect, how familiar are you with X? Or what do you know about X? And based on their answer, you can say, let me take a minute to quickly tell you who we are. Now, you have only about a minute to do this. We don't want a story. We don't want the full history of the company. We don't want every accolade or achievement that you have done, every type of product or industry that you have diversified into. That's too much information too early, and the client is not interested in it. You need to know why this client has come in the first place. If you are selling a particular type of product, if there are multiple products in the company, you need to know why the person is here. Then, in relation to that product, in relation to that need, present the company. Just 4 or 5 key statements. High impact, high value statements without too much detail. Just 4 or 5 sweeping, broad statements that will bring out the true essence, the power, and the reach of this company in terms of its credibility. Now you take a minute to do that, and after that you have to ask what I call a closing question and follow it up with a power word. So let's just quickly go through this, because this part, I'm spending more time on this because this is the weak part in the sales process from your side, the salesperson side. Start by establishing your own credibility. Then when you come to the company credibility, you need to ask the client. You need to find out how much they actually know about you. Because as long as that thought is in their mind as a doubt, whatever you do in the entire process after that, they're not fully convinced about it. There's a lingering doubt. They will raise it as an objection at a later stage in the process, and you don't want to be establishing company credibility down the road in the process. You need to do that up front. So ask the question, how familiar are you with? And in case they don't have the answer, then you tell them, let me take a minute to quickly tell you who we are. 5 sweeping, powerful, inspirational, impactful statements. When you finish it, end with this question. Would you be comfortable discussing an investment with a company like us? Would you be comfortable making us your key supplier? Would you be comfortable buying from us? Whatever it may be. The point of asking this question is to get his first yes. You see, if the client says, yes, I'm comfortable discussing an investment with you, great, you've already gone past that hurdle. It doesn't mean he's going to buy, but he is comfortable to discuss it with you. That's what you want. It means the trust is there, the rapport is there, the answers that follow will be honest answers. So simply ask this question, Mr. Prospect, would you be comfortable discussing an investment with a company like us? You see, if the answer is yes, it's good. And if the answer is no, now you need to find out why. But please don't ask a negative question. Don't ask, what are you not comfortable about? That makes the client think about what he's not comfortable, which is negative for him. Instead, you could ask a question like, okay, what else would you like to know to feel comfortable? What more would you need to know to feel comfortable? That's a positive question. The client focuses on what he needs to know so that he can like your company. Now, in case the answer is yes, once you've given him all the information, you ask him, are you comfortable discussing investments with us? Well, yes, I'm comfortable discussing. Use a power word. Fantastic. Excellent. Great. Any of these words. See, what that word does is it creates a positive energy surge in the mind. Let's look at it. Let me do it again and see what happens to your own mind as I do this. Mr. Prospect, how much do you know about X? Well, to be honest, I don't know much about you. Well, in that case, let me take a minute to tell you who we are. And you give a five-sentence introduction or who you are. Mr. Prospect, would you be comfortable discussing an investment with a company like us? Well, yeah, I guess so. Excellent. Fantastic. Any of these words. There is a positive surge before you move forward into it. The client has bought into your company. That's the second buy. And then the third buy comes when he buys your actual product, which obviously comes only after you qualify, fully understand the need, present your two best options, and then ask him which one he'd like to go for. So the client's first buy is you. The second buy, which is really the purpose of this video, is the credibility of the company or the brand. The third buy is the product. And then the fourth buy is the price at which they can get that value or product. So, okay, I like who you are. They won't tell you this, but that's the mindset. I like who you are. I like the company. This makes sense. You guys have done a great job. I love what you have as a solution. How much do I have to pay for this? So the fourth buy is where they associate the value of the offering with the amount that they have to pay. So the fourth closeout or the buy is on the money for the product. And the fifth buy is the decision-making time frame. How soon do I want to own this? By when am I ready to make a commitment to this? So if you want to get a buying decision from a client, this is the process naturally in the mind how people buy. I need to like the person who's offering it to me. I need to have faith and belief that the company is a good one and therefore the product will be good. Then I need to see if the product that they're offering right now will take care of what I need. Then I need to see if the amount I need to pay for this makes sense and is acceptable to me. And fifth, then I need to decide if all of these are fantastic, when do I want to own this product? Do I want to buy it now? Do I want to come back tomorrow? Will I do it next week? Do I need to plan if it's a big amount? Do I want to shift supplier to this company for next year? Whatever may be the reason, it's still a buying decision. So focus on these 5 buys, give a lot of importance to number 2 in this case, credibility of the brand, and you will find yourself on the road to success in closing bigger deals because clients are going to like you, they're going to like your approach, you're using a good sales structure, and people buy from people they like. Good luck and happy selling.